Hey guys, what's up? Sean here, and today we are doing a recap of the Superstar Shakeup over on Smackdown side of the show. I did manage to get tickets and attend. I was in the fourth row on the A side, so that was the side that is under the hard cam, not on the hard cam, but under it. So yeah, it was pretty close. I haven't been that close before, but it was like I could pay $100 and sit there, or I could pay $95 and sit back like 10 rows. So I was like, I guess I'll pay $100 and sit there. Sounds good to me. So I was able to see pretty well. Now, as far as the shakeup goes, I think Smackdown is both stronger and weaker at the same time. You see, I think moving Alexa Bliss to Raw in favor of taking Charlotte over on Smackdown is probably a smart move, because I think, well, people like Bliss. She's not the star power that Charlotte is, so I think Charlotte moving to SmackDown actually boosts their women's division for now, whereas moving Alexa Bliss to Raw, I think, can help boost Alexa Bliss's profile, and therefore kind of make them interchangeable, down the road. Whereas right now, I think it's clear it's like Charlotte, some people, Bliss, even though maybe that's not fair. So I think that's a good move in the sense that I think it'll help strengthen them as we move forward, in the years to come, rather than a right this second move. As far as Tamina, is Tamina on the same level? No. I think losing Mickie James hurts more than gaining Tamina does for SmackDown, but I don't think it's that influential. I still believe in my heart that Nia should have been moved to SmackDown to let Nia win some stuff. I feel like on Raw, I think she's gonna win some stuff now, but it still feels like she's stuck in the mud with Sasha, Bayley, Alexa now. She's still that fourth person, whereas I think over on SmackDown she'd be in the conversation for the third. It's not much of a difference, but it is a difference. So, but at the same time, on Raw, there can be two women's feuds going on at the same time. Credit to the 3 hours that the show is. So I think it can all shake out in the end. But as it stands now, I think she's sort of... That didn't do too much for SmackDown's women division, but hey. As far as the tag division, that, the Shining Stars came, and the New Day is coming, apparently, but no Club, no Enzo and Cass. I think that's a missed opportunity. I think one of those two teams should have been moved. Probably the Club, unless they plan on pairing them with Finn Balor. Like, I don't know what their plans are. If they do that, and somehow they reunite the Shield, maybe, or something like the Hardys, maybe they have some plan on Raw, because all those, groups are over there right now. But otherwise, I feel like the Club could have used a move to SmackDown, get back with AJ, because I think they missed the boat on the Club because the draft happened. I think the Club came over, and the crowd sort of knew what was going on, but not really. And then they split them right around the time where people were starting to get, oh, AJ and the Club, oh, they're a unit together, and they're on the same team. Like, they just started to kind of work together, and then they were immediately split apart. I think they didn't properly introduce Gallows and Anderson by pairing them to AJ to make it so that when they split, Gallows and Anderson mattered to people. I think they fucked that up, and then the whole they made them shitheads for like months, and then they tried to redeem them, and it was just too little too late. So I think they need to be paired with Finn or AJ to boost their profile, the same way Alexa needs to, go over to Raw, I think, to do that. So that when they're alone, people give a shit. Because it's not their fault that they've been, given nothing interesting to do or say, basically. Enzo and Cass, I think, probably will get the Raw titles at some point, but they literally could have been the SmackDown champions last night, because that division blows right now. So I feel like they should have been moved over there, because you got the Revival, you got, there's too much going on Raw and nothing happening on SmackDown, and I'm a New Day hater, so moving the New Day in their place, it's like, this team needs to break up, go away. I don't want you fuckers anymore. And if the New Day just go on to get the SmackDown titles and just hold them for fucking ever, man, I just saw that movie play out, so I don't want to see it again. So I feel like the New Day is the wrong team because I think it's over and done with, and we can just throw them in a barrel somewhere. So that kind of didn't do anything for me. In addition to that, they got Rusev. I think that's good for SmackDown. I think that's good for Rusev. So no complaints there. Kevin Owens came out to open the show and announced that he had been moved over. Or technically he said he had been moved over. And then they came out and they talked. And Daniel Bryan, I think, said, well, if Jericho beats you, then he's moved over because we're getting the U.S. title. So I guess technically he's not yet, really. But he is because Jericho's going away. So it's a done deal there. Sami Zayn also came out, and that was funny because Kevin was like, not him again. Like, really? Seriously? Go away. So I laughed at that part. Then AJ came out and Corbin, and they had a whole fucking thing, and then they had a triple threat later in the night, which we'll talk about after this. But, so, gaining Owens is definitely a boost to Raw. I think Owens is greater than Dean Ambrose. I think Rusev and The Miz are almost, they can kind of, cancel each other out. I think Sammy being over there, I guess, for Apollo or something is fine. They also gained Jinder Mahal over on SmackDown. I don't know where that's going, but they got Jinder Mahal now. I don't think that this changed too much. I don't think it really hurt either show, but I think it hurt individuals, and I'll get to that now. I think Bray Wyatt was irreparably harmed by doing this. I think Bray needed to be on SmackDown where it could kind of be his show, in a way. Where, I know it's AJ's show, but he could have been, the second act on the show. Whereas on Raw, what is he? The 4th, the 5th, the 6th? Like, you got Finn, Seth, Roman, there's just so many guys ahead of him on that card that it's like, Bray really got fucked here. I also think Seth got fucked here in a way. I know he's on the bigger show, or, the primary A show, as they like to think of it, but I think there's so many matchups for him on SmackDown that he hasn't done yet, and that would be great matches that would elevate him beyond even where he is now, because right now he's a guy the fans like, who's put on some good matches, that's kind of it. If he went over to SmackDown, he could do AJ, he could do Shinsuke, just that alone is like, oh, he might put on match of the year. You don't know, that could actually... So, I feel like him being stuck on Raw, where he's already done most of those matchups, so none of them are really new, and he's also below so many people in terms of the title picture, it's like, why? Why is he even over there? What is going on? And then, on SmackDown, they didn't even have Luke Harper show up, so, Bray was on a Titantron, Eric Rowan was fighting Randy, and then Luke Harper just vanished into thin air. Okay? I mean, I thought this was when, Harper gets his singles push, but I thought he should have been in the, the number one contender for the United States title match. I thought he would be the 4th guy or something, but no. I also thought Shinsuke would be the 4th guy, but no. Shinsuke wasn't even on SmackDown. I mean, he came out briefly, and then they booked a dark match for after 205 Live, which I had to stay through to see Shinsuke have a match, so that was annoying. But, I know it was, it was the Shakeup show, so it's kind of a mess, but I think there are storylines here that could have been had if you moved Seth, left Bray alone. I think SmackDown is probably better off in the end because they got to keep AJ Styles, but I think that they could have done Kevin, Seth, Bray, and I would have been like, oh, SmackDown's alright, SmackDown's fine. I mean, losing AJ, yeah, that's a blow, but what if you kept AJ? What if you kept them all? And then you had Raw has, Lesnar's the champion, you've got Strowman, you have Roman, there's people over there that can carry the load. So I think that, there were moves that could have been made. I maybe would have even left Owens over there, but there's good stuff to be had here with Owens, Shinsuke, and, you know, Owens, Styles. Like, there's stuff to be had here. Things will work out in the end, but they weren't the moves I would have made, especially in the tag division. I think the tag division is really lacking. As far as the rest of SmackDown, not a lot happened. There was a tag team title match that was pointless because the Usos just retained and American Alpha looked stupid again. There was Mojo beating Jinder. There was Ty Dillinger beating... What the fuck did... I don't know. Beating somebody who didn't apparently matter to me at all. Oh, the vaudevillain fella. Whatever the fuck in the hell his name is, right? It was that guy. So that happened. The Shining Stars beat up American Alpha. So, I guess it's the Shining Stars versus American Alpha. You're so hyped. Literally everyone in the section I was in was chanting, "We don't know you. Go back to Puerto Rico." I thought they bought the wrong plane ticket. Like, it was just nobody wanted them there. Like, I don't know why. I don't know why they're there. I don't really understand. That happened. Like I said, Eric Rowan got DQ'd against Randy, which I thought was weird. Like, they do the magic trick. Eric Rowan gets out of the, you know, he's not going to get RKO'd. He rolls out of the ring. The magic trick ends. Randy's not distracted anymore, and so Rowan just hits him with the steel steps on the outside. It was like, why didn't you use the distraction to win the match? But then again, the Wyatts never do anything that makes sense, so the Wyatts, once again, don't win a goddamn match. And then, again, Harper didn't even show up, so that was weird. The main event with Styles, Sammy, and Baron Corbin was decent. It felt really long when I was there, and it kind of slowed down in the middle a lot. But they were probably a commercial, so that's probably why it felt like that. I think, like, Sammy's a good wrestler. I don't know that I care about Sami Zayn, the character, but there was this little kid behind us who was amped for fucking Sami Zayn, so the whole section was on Team Zayn. I was pretty surprised that Styles won. I really thought that was going to be Sammy, or, I really, really thought it was going to be Baron. I don't know. That poor fucking guy. He's fights Dean Ambrose at Mania. They fuck up his match, basically. Make him lose it. And then they have him beat Dean Ambrose in a street fight, which is what Mania should have been. And then it's not for the belt. And now he doesn't even get a shot at the belt. What the hell? That poor man. That poor fucking guy. And then Sami Zayn, you know, loses again, basically. So, I guess he's never going to get to do anything that's not lose. No matter what show he's on. Hopefully they straighten that out. I don't know what they should do with those guys. Because, like, there's kind of a logjam if AJ's challenging for the U.S. title. I imagine that they somehow work their way out of that at some point where AJ goes to fight Randy. And then Shinsuke, I would think, would fight Kevin Owens. But again, poor Baron Corbin and everyone else down there. So I think that AJ's not going to end up ultimately fighting for that belt, but maybe he will. I mean, I want to see AJ and Kevin, so I'm down for it, but unless Shinsuke or somebody or Baron is going to go up to fight Randy, it seems weird. But hey, maybe they will. I don't know. So anyway, what do you guys think of the shakeup overall? Overall, I think both shows stayed about the same strength they were before, which is in some ways a negative because I think SmackDown needed a lot of help in their tag division and women's division, and they didn't really seem to get that. They kind of got washed out. I think that certain people like Bray were really screwed here by being moved to Raw. I think Seth could have been benefited by moving to SmackDown more than some other people who did get moved, but I think that in some ways Raw had that problem across the board where, like, Kevin, Seth, like, they all kind of had to move. I think moving Kevin away from Triple H and Joe was weird because I thought you can't move Seth because you can't move him away from that feud, but if you can move Kevin, then you can move anyone, so I think you should have moved Seth instead of Kevin. But that's my opinion as it stands right now. What do you guys think? Please don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you all later.